You think you know what fear sounds like? It's not screaming. It's not crying. It's the sound of a mother's voice breaking when she realizes her child has been talking to a stranger online for months. And in 1998, that sound echoed through countless American homes. Before we dive into tonight's digital nightmare, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. The Nightmare Network is about to take you down a rabbit hole so dark, so twisted, that you'll never look at your computer screen the same way again. Ring that notification bell, because what happened in the late 90s is happening right now in your neighborhood to someone you might know. That innocent little chime? In 1998, it meant your friend was online, ready to chat about homework or the latest episode of X-Files. But for 13-year-old Christina Long from Danbury, Connecticut, that sound became the gateway to hell. Picture this. It's 1998. Titanic is breaking box office records. President Clinton is denying his affair with Monica Lewinsky, and parents across America are celebrating this amazing new technology that's keeping their kids safely entertained at home. No more worrying about where they are after school. They're right there in their bedrooms, chatting with friends online. What those parents didn't know was that predators had already figured out something that would take law enforcement years to understand. The internet wasn't just connecting kids with their friends. It was giving monsters direct access to children's bedrooms. Christina Long was everything you'd expect from a Connecticut teenager in 1998. Honor roll student, cheerleader, the kind of kid who helped elderly neighbors carry groceries. Her parents, Karen and John Long, thought they were doing everything right. They'd set up the family computer in a common area where they could monitor Christina's online activity. But here's what makes this story so terrifying. They were monitoring the wrong things. While Karen Long was checking to make sure Christina wasn't visiting inappropriate websites, she had no idea that her daughter was being systematically groomed by a 25-year-old predator named Saul Dos Reis. This wasn't some random encounter in a chat room. This was a calculated, months-long psychological manipulation that began the moment Christina typed her first innocent message. Dos Reis wasn't some obvious creep lurking in dark corners of the internet. He was smart, patient, and he understood teenage psychology better than most parents. He presented himself as a troubled young man, just a few years older than Christina, someone who understood her problems and could relate to her world. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the Nightmare Network, what are you waiting for? Because what I'm about to tell you about Dos Reis' methods will chill you to the bone. Dos Reis spent 6 months grooming Christina. 6 months of daily conversations, building trust, creating an emotional dependency. He learned everything about her insecurities, her dreams, her family dynamics, her schedule. He became the most important person in her world, and she had no idea he was mapping out her destruction. The grooming process was insidious. It started with friendship, just someone to talk to about school stress and teenage problems. Then it evolved into something deeper. Dos Reis positioned himself as Christina's protector, the only person who truly understood her. He convinced her that their relationship was special, mature, something adults wouldn't understand. Sound familiar? It should, because this exact same process is happening right now on Instagram, TikTok, Discord, and every other platform where children communicate online. The technology has changed, but the predatory psychology remains exactly the same. By May 1998, Dos Reis had convinced Christina to meet him in person. He told her they would run away together, start a new life, escape all the people who didn't understand their love. Christina, completely manipulated and isolated, agreed. On May 25, 1998, Christina Long told her parents she was going to a friend's house to study. Instead, she took a bus to meet Saul Dos Reis at a motel in Glastonbury, Connecticut. Her parents expected her home by 11 p.m. She never came home. What happened next in that motel room represents every parent's worst nightmare made manifest. When Christina realized that Dos Reis wasn't the person he'd pretended to be, when she tried to leave, he strangled her. This honor roll student, this cheerleader, this beloved daughter, was murdered by someone she thought she knew, someone she thought loved her. But here's the detail that will haunt you. Christina's murder could have been prevented. In the weeks leading up to her death, she'd started acting differently, more secretive, more emotional, pulling away from family activities. Classic signs of grooming that her parents didn't recognize because nobody was talking about online predators yet. The investigation that followed Christina's murder revealed the terrifying scope of Dos Reis's online activities. He wasn't just targeting Christina, he was simultaneously grooming multiple teenage girls across Connecticut and beyond. Christina just happened to be the one who agreed to meet him first. Police found chat logs that read like a predator's handbook. Dos Reis had perfected the art of psychological manipulation, using techniques that child psychologists didn't even have names for yet. He knew exactly what to say to make teenage girls feel special, understood, and isolated from their families and friends. The most chilling part, Dos Reis had been operating online for years before he killed Christina. He'd been practicing, refining his methods, learning from each interaction. By 1998, he was essentially a professional predator, and the internet was his hunting ground. Make sure you're subscribed to the Nightmare Network because this case changed everything about how America viewed internet safety. But the changes came too late for Christina Long. Dos Reis was eventually caught, tried, and sentenced to life in prison, but the damage was done. Christina's murder became the wake-up call that parents, lawmakers, and tech companies had been ignoring. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know how many other predators were out there, hiding behind usernames and fake profiles. The answer was more terrifying than anyone wanted to admit. FBI estimates from the late 1990s suggested that at any given time there were approximately 750,000 predators online actively seeking contact with children. That number has only grown with the expansion of social media and mobile technology. Christina Long's case became the blueprint for modern internet safety education. Her death led to the creation of online safety programs, stricter monitoring software, and new laws targeting online predators. But here's the horrifying truth. For every predator like Dos Reis who gets caught, dozens more are still out there, using increasingly sophisticated methods to target children. Right now, while you're watching this video, there's a child somewhere in America having what they think is an innocent conversation with a stranger online. That stranger is patient, understanding, and interested in everything about them. That stranger is building trust, creating dependency, and slowly isolating that child from their families and friends. The technology has evolved, but the evil hasn't changed. It's just gotten better at hiding. Hit that subscribe button if you want the Nightmare Network to keep exposing these digital nightmares. Ring that notification bell
because someone needs to keep telling these stories. Someone needs to keep reminding parents that the internet isn't a babysitter. It's a window that allows monsters to look directly into your child's bedroom. And remember Christina Long. Remember that behind every internet safety rule, every parental control setting, every warning about talking to strangers online, there's a real child who didn't make it home. The internet promised to connect us all. It just didn't mention that some of the connections would be fatal. Sweet dreams, America. And maybe check on your kids before you go to bed tonight.